Hey, what's up? Now, this might make some of you feel old, just like some of my other top tens, but it's been 20 years since the Notorious B.I.G. was murdered in Los Angeles, leaving a nightclub. And for this, just like I did with Tupac, I want to do something for Notorious B.I.G. Now, for Tupac, I did underrated songs. There are a couple of reasons why I'm not doing that for this one. First of all, Notorious B.I.G. only has 3 CDs, and one of them came out after he died. And the second reason is because when I tried to do that with Tupac, a couple people told me, well, those aren't really underrated. A lot of people know them, and this and that. So I decided just to do it as a regular top 10. So without further ado, this is my top 10 Notorious B.I.G. songs. Number 10 is Who Shot Ya? This one is very different from some of his other more well-known songs, but it's kind of rough, it's hard, and it's very much an angrier song than what you probably would have heard on her on the radio or watched on MTV back when they still played videos. And it's a good song. Unfortunately, it was also used against him when the big East Coast West Coast war was going on. This is a song that was used against him to make it seem like he set up Tupac Shakur to be shot in New York. Now, that was used in one of Tupac's videos, The Two Americans Wanted, where they almost did like a Scarface sort of a thing. And also, it really threw a lot of fire on the gas, a little gasoline on the fire that didn't need it. And I think that's one of the reasons why they were both murdered. And it also led to number 9 on my list, which is What's Beef? Beef is when you need 2 gas to go to sleep. Beef is when you roll no less than 30 deep. And this is a very serious look at beef, at rivalries. And it says when rivalries go too far. And it's very well done. The violins in this song are used perfectly for this type of song, and it's kind of a warning song. And the way that it's put together, I just had to put on this list, and it had to be supplemented with Who Shot Ya? It's a really good song, and yeah, not much to say about that. Number 8 is More Money, More Problems. Now, this one is what you associate Notorious B.I.G. with, a lot of party anthems, and this is a great party anthem, and it's so fun to watch. Not to mention, it's the first video with Mace in it. But when you go back and watch the video again, you'll see that they take an excerpt from an interview about more money you get, the more problems you have with jealousy and envy. And it's true, it is. But the song itself is so upbeat and catchy that you don't really see it that way when you first watch it. Still a great song. Number 7 is Hypnotized. This was a song that was played in the club the night that he died. A couple of documentaries I've seen about his murder, they had Puff Daddy, or P. Diddy's called now, talking about how when they're in Los Angeles, when they're in the club, they played Hypnotized several times, and it's fun, it's energetic, it's a great song, and it's a song that you just can't help. But whenever you hear that first guitar riff, and you hear, oh, for the first time, it's like, yep, there's Hypnotized. It's almost Pavlovian in a way, but it's really good. Number 6 is Notorious Thugs. Now, some of you might be thinking, wait a minute, isn't that a song by Bone Thugs and Harmony? Its first appearance was actually in Life After Death, Notorious B.I.G. It's, I believe, track number 1 on the second CD. And it's high pace, it's fast, it's frenetic, great raps, great rhythm, and it showed Notorious B.I.G.'s range in a sense that most of his songs are really slow pace, and he has he raps a little slower than you would hear from like Tupac or even Method Man, and or nowadays with like Eminem. But this showed his fast-paced abilities, and it's a really good song. And he even mentions his so-called beef with Tupac when he goes, when he talks about how the things he's been through, so-called beef with you know who, fucking a few more stars or two. Yeah, it's a good song, and it's one that I really like, and it's also one of my favorite Bone Thugs and Harmony songs as well. Yeah, good song. Number 5 is Big Papa. This is a song that is just synonymous with Notorious B.I.G. It's smooth. It's almost jazz-like in a way that it's produced and the way that it comes across. But, man, when you watch the video and when you listen to the song in either a CD or whenever they decide to play on radio, you can't help but feel the smoothness and how he was a ladies' man. It's so good that you realize, man, he was a big guy and not the best looking, but the way he carried himself and the way that he positioned himself, it made you realize, man, this guy could have gotten any woman he wanted. It's great. Number 4 is Juicy. It was all a dream. Used to read Word Up magazine. Yes, this is actually the first Notorious B.I.G. song I ever listened to. And it's so good. And I remember I used this actually because I took a class in university about public speaking and debate. And one of the things they're talking about was rap music. And I talked about how it's not as bad or not as chauvinistic and as evil as people think it is. And I used this song as part of my base for that. And it's great because it talks about his struggles coming from when he had nothing into being a star and having money and putting 5-carat earrings on his baby girl's ear and that sort of thing. It's so great to see. Not to mention he talks about now he not just his own wealth, but also helping his family, his friends, all this other stuff. It's just such a well put together song. It's just beautiful. There's nothing else that can be said. It's beautiful. Number 2 and number 1 are very, very important to me because they're so much fun to listen to, and I even performed it at karaoke with my friends. But I had to choose one or the other, and this is a tough one to do. This is a tough decision to make because I like these songs so much that either one could have been number 1. But here we go. Number 2 is Going Back to Cali. Every year when I go home to visit my family for Christmas, I listen to this song. And it's so great. It's upbeat. It's great. It's got a great beat, a great rhythm to it. Notorious B.I.G.'s raps and rhymes are fantastic in it, and it makes me ready to go back to Cali. And I know it's a remake of an LL Cool J song, but I prefer this version over LL Cool J's, to be perfectly honest. It's just so fun and puts me in such a good mood to be ready to go home to visit my family. It always brings a smile to my face whenever I listen to it. So that had to be number 2. But number 1 is Dead Wrong. This one is twisted, sadistic, and so good. And it has Eminem in it too. This was on the Born Again CD that came out maybe a year after his death. And it's my favorite song. It's the rhymes and the way that they're put together is just so twisted and demented. It almost sounds like you're getting ready to watch a slasher villain apply his craft. I sometimes like slasher movies. Depends on how they're done and what type of gore is done, and how much gore, and if it's done well. And this puts me in that mood of, yeah, this is good. I can't wait to see who the next victim is, what's going to happen next. And it's morbid, yes, but I like it. It's just so fascinating to me to have this type of song, especially from how different it is from Notorious B.I.G.'s other songs, especially his most famous ones that on this list. I mean, even Who Shot You isn't this twisted and demented. And so, because it sticks out so well, and because it has such a great rhyme and rap and rhythm to it, I had to put it at number one. I just had to. It's just a little bit better than Going Back to Cali. But what do you think? What are your favorite Notorious B.I.G. songs? So after this, probably we'll start going to wrestling. So until then, rest in peace, Notorious B.I.G. Take care.